Number 15. The Abandoned Fantasy World. In 1974, the Philippines opened a theme park named Fantasy World in Lumeri, Bantagas. The park featured a castle, a merry-go-round, and a castle-themed roller coaster. It was created in an attempt to compete with Disney World, which was garnering worldwide fame at the time. The Philippine government even chose to support its construction monetarily, but it was never truly able to get off its feet. Fantasy World was a popular destination for families and tourists, but it closed in the late 1990s after the owners failed to pay property taxes. It's unclear as to whether this was because the park didn't bring in enough revenue or if it was just due to poor management. In the years since, the park has fallen into disrepair. The castle has been taken over by vines, the roller coaster is rusty and overgrown, and the merry-go-round is missing its horses. It was already located within a practical jungle, and now it just seems like the entire park has been taken over by nature. Despite its current state, the park is still a popular destination for photographers and urban explorers. Number 14. Sunken Cemetery. The Sunken Cemetery in the Philippines is a popular tourist destination. It is located in the town of Maribojac, Bajo, and is believed to be the final resting place of the remains of those who died in a shipwreck in the year 1593. The site is now a popular diving spot, and it's an underwater graveyard that contains more than 100,000 graves. It is located near the city of Camiguin, on the island of Mindanao. The cemetery was formerly created in the 18th century. When the island was hit by a series of volcanic eruptions. The eruptions destroyed the city of Camiguin, and the survivors were forced to flee to the nearby island of Mindanao. The cemetery was created to bury the bodies of those who perished in the eruptions. There were bodies buried in the location before then, but this is when it was formally declared as an existing graveyard. The cemetery was rediscovered in the early 21st century when a team of divers stumbled upon it while exploring the area. The cemetery has since become a popular tourist destination and is one of the most unique burial sites in the world. Number 13. Mysterious Ocean Creature. A big hairy blob that washed up on the shore in the Philippines has not yet been identified by marine biologists, despite it happening several years ago at this point. The blob, which was found on the island of Olango, is about the size of a human head and has a long, thin tail. It's covered with long black hair. Some people think it might be a whale or a sea cow, but marine biologists say it's more likely an oarfish or a whale shark, if it's a creature that we know at all. There are many who believe that this cannot be an oarfish because it shares very few characteristics with the blob. The oarfish is a very long, skinny fish that can grow to more than 50 feet long. It's often called a sea serpent because it's so long and skinny. The whale shark is a very big fish that can grow up to 60 feet long. It's the biggest fish in the world. This blob, on the other hand, was incredibly small and looked to be fully matured at the time of its death. The blob was found by a woman who was walking on the beach. Funnily enough, it's rumored that she took it home and put it in her freezer. Nobody knows if she still has it, or if she's gotten rid of it by now. Number 12. The mouse deer. The mouse deer is a small mammal that lives in Southeast Asia. It is a timid creature and is seldom seen by humans, to the point where many believe that it had gone extinct before it was very recently observed once again. The mouse deer is a member of the Artiodactyla family, which includes pigs, deer, camels, and giraffes. It is the smallest member of this family. Mouse deer are also known as chevrotains. They are shy creatures that are most active at night. It is a solitary animal and is seldom seen in groups. The mouse deer is an herbivore and feeds on a variety of plants and fruits. It is especially fond of bamboo shoots, which is where a vast majority of its nutrition comes from. The mouse deer is found in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. It is also found in the Philippines and Singapore. The mouse deer is a small mammal with a reddish-brown coat. It has a white belly and a black tail. It's about the size of a rabbit and is now seen on several trail cameras that have been set up throughout the region. Number 11. The bamboo organ. man in the Philippines constructed an organ made entirely of bamboo. It is very similar in design to a conventional pipe organ, with its pipes, bellows, and keyboard. The only difference is that it's made entirely out of bamboo. The bamboo organ was invented by a man named Diego Serra in the Philippines in the early 1800s. Serra was a carpenter and organ builder, and he was looking for a way to build an organ that was cheaper and more available than the traditional pipe organs made of wood. He came up with the idea of using bamboo, which was plentiful in the Philippines. He spent several years working out exactly how to shape the bamboo to sound like a traditional organ, and there is a little bit of metal used to fasten some of the components together. Despite this, it is still a remarkable feat considering how many natural materials were used in the construction. The first bamboo organ was built in 1807, and it's still played today. It is located in the Church of St. Joseph in the town of Las Piñas. Number 10, the Waterfall Restaurant. The Waterfall Restaurant in the Philippines has a wide variety of different food items that are available for customers to order. The restaurant offers several different national cuisines, which include American, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Thai. The restaurant also offers a wide variety of different services, which include catering, takeout, and delivery. It serves a large selection of different beverages, which include alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. It is quite popular for its desserts, featuring sweets from all over the world. The most important and most well-loved aspect, however, is the waterfall that falls directly in the middle of the restaurant. Patrons are encouraged to lean back or even wash their hands within its graces, and the location has become a massive tourist attraction because of it. A large reason that the restaurant has seen such success is that it offers food from all over the world, meaning people go there when they're looking for a unique experience, but can also order something familiar if they feel like it. Overall, it's worked very well throughout the past few years. Number 9, wooden motorcycles. The wooden motorcycles of the Philippines are not only works of art, but they are also very functional. The wood that they're made out of is very light, yet very durable. This makes them perfect for riding in the Philippines, where the roads are often far bumpier and more jarring on the cycle than they would be in other locations. The wooden motorcycles of the Philippines are very popular with the locals. They love to ride them, and they are always looking for new ways to improve them, whether that is aesthetically or mechanically. It has become almost a sort of competition among many people, trying to work out who can create the best motorcycle. If you're interested in purchasing one of these wooden motorcycles, you'll need to find a reputable dealer. You can find many of them online, but you will also need to be prepared to pay a little bit more for them than you would for a regular motorcycle. Because of the amount of work that goes into them and the fact that they are handcrafted, they demand a bit more money than your run-of-the-mill factory motorcycle. Number 8, world's largest pair of shoes. The world's largest pair of shoes is located within the large Philippine city of Marikina. The shoes, which are approximately 5 meters long and 2 meters wide, were constructed by the Marikina Shoe Industry Development Office in 2002. The shoes were designed specifically to break the Guinness World Record for the world's largest shoes. Because the city is known colloquially as the shoe capital of the Philippines, over 80% of the country's shoes are produced within the city's limits. Despite this, the record-breaking shoes have not been used since their construction. They're currently on display at the Marikina City Museum, where they attract large numbers of visitors. They are estimated to be a size 753, which is obviously absurdly massive and will never be required by a human being. There are rumors that there were plans to have the shoes be worn by a similar large statue, but at the moment, they remain located within the museum, open for all people to see. Number 7, Vulcan Point. Vulcan Point, a location within the Philippines, is well known for having the world's largest volcano crater lake. It is also home to the country's tallest mountain, Mount Mayon. Vulcan Point is a small island located within the crater lake of the Taal volcano, which is located about 60 kilometers south of Manila in the province of Batangas, Philippines. The island is also known as Volcano Island. It is the country's largest lake island and is home to the world's largest volcano crater lake. The island is about 3.5 kilometers in diameter and is surrounded by cliffs that are about 100 meters high. There is only one way to reach the island, and it's by taking a boat from the town of Talisay, Batangas. Although there are several tourists that wish to go to the point every year, the number of people allowed to go there is fairly heavily controlled by the Philippine government. That hasn't stopped it from being a popular destination, of course, because people have always enjoyed looking for the most dangerous spots on Earth. Considering how active the nearby volcano is, Vulcan Point is no exception. Number 6. The Hanging Coffins of Sagada. The hanging coffins of Sagada are a set of coffins that were suspended on cliffs of Echo Valley in Sagada, Mountain Province, Philippines. They were often used in a type of secondary burial where the bones of the dead are exhumed after a period of time and placed in a hanging coffin. The tradition of the hanging coffins is thought to have originated with the Bo people, an ethnic group who inhabited the area before the arrival of the Igorot people. The Bo people believed that the soul of the dead would ascend to heaven if their coffins were suspended high above the ground. The tradition was adopted by the Igorot people, and the coffins can be found in many parts of the Igorot region, including Benguet, Ifugao, and Kalinga. The hanging coffins of Sagada are unique in that they are placed in groups of 3, with the middle coffin being the largest. It is believed that the middle coffin holds the remains of the most important person in the group. The coffins are made of wood and are often decorated with carvings of animals and geometric designs. They are placed in the cliffs using ropes or vines and can be accessed by a ladder. There have been issues of the coffins breaking and dropping the bones, but overall, the hanging coffins are quite successful in their use. 5. Viral dancing inmates. The viral dancing inmates of the Philippines are well known for their awe-inspiring choreography and their rousing renditions of popular songs. They are called the Prisoners of Hope, and their performances are truly uplifting. The Prisoners of Hope, who are also known as Bilibid 19, are a group of prisoners who have been incarcerated at the new Bilibid prison in the Philippines. The group was formed in 2014 by a group of prisoners who are passionate about dance and wanted to use their talents to spread hope and positivity. The group's performances have been viewed by millions of people online, and they have even been featured on international news outlets. Many of the prisoners have expressed the desire to go into dance once their sentence ends, and many even claim that they'll be disappointed when they get out of prison because they won't be able to participate in the performances anymore. Their performances are truly inspirational, and their message of hope is one that is needed in today's world. The Chocolate Hills. The Chocolate Hills in the Philippines are a unique geological formation consisting of around 1,268 limestone hills spread over an area of 50 square kilometers. They are covered in green grass that turns brown during the dry season, hence the name Chocolate Hills. The Chocolate Hills are a popular tourist destination in the Philippines and are one of the country's most famous landmarks. They have been declared a National Geological Monument and a National Landscape Monument by the Philippine government. They also form part of the Philippine Tourism Authority's list of tourist destinations. The Chocolate Hills are located in the central part of the island of Bohol and are about 30 kilometers south of the city of Tagbilaran. They are accessible by land, and there are several viewing platforms from which to see them. The Chocolate Hills are also a popular sport for paragliding and ziplining, where people are able to glide or fly through them in order to observe their beauty from above. Number 3, the adorable tarsier. The tarsier is an interesting creature that is native to the Philippines. It is a small mammal that is related to the lemur, and many people find it to be absolutely adorable. The tarsier is unique in that it's the only mammal that is able to rotate its head up to 180 degrees, which can admittedly be quite creepy when it isn't expected. The tarsier is also known for its large eyes and for its ability to jump great distances. It also has very long hind legs. The tarsier is a carnivore and feeds on insects, small reptiles, and small mammals, and generally pounces on them whenever it sees something that looks particularly tasty. The tarsier is a nocturnal creature and is most active at night. The tarsier is considered to be an endangered species due to habitat loss and hunting. It is estimated that there are only about 6,000 tarsiers left in the wild. Hopefully, with proper conservation efforts, the tarsier will be around for many years to come. Number 2, the Yamashita treasure. The Yamashita treasure is a legendary buried treasure said to have been hidden in the Philippines by the Japanese military during World War II. It is also referred to as the Yamashita treasure or Yamashita's gold. This is because the treasure is often associated with the Japanese general Tomoyuki Yamashita. The legend of the Yamashita treasure has been the subject of several books, movies, and television shows. It has also been the source of much controversy and speculation. The legend of the Yamashita treasure began shortly after World War II. There were many stories of Japanese soldiers hiding gold and other valuables in the Philippines before they were forced to surrender. Some of these stories were true and some were not. However, the stories all had one thing in common. The treasure was never found. In the late 1970s, a man named Roger Roxas claimed to have found the Yamashita treasure. He said that he had found it while digging in a certain area of the Philippines. Roxas claimed that the treasure was worth billions of dollars, mainly composed of gold coins. He also said that he had been given a map by a Japanese soldier who had been part of the group that had hidden the treasure. Although his claims have never been corroborated, it's very likely that some part of the treasure has been found throughout history. Number 1, the largest pearl in the world. The largest pearl in the world was discovered in the Philippines and is known as the Pearl of Lazoo. It is estimated to be about 3,000 years old and weighs 14 pounds. It was found by a man who was diving for food and is currently on display in a museum in Manila. If you were to look at the pearl, you'd be forgiven for thinking that it doesn't even look possible. It's absolutely massive and is the stereotypical light pink color that is so common amongst this particular type of stone. Pearls are usually composed within oysters, so the question remains, how massive would an oyster have to be to create something like this? Was it created by an oyster at all, or by some alternate means within the ocean? Nobody will ever know for sure, but it's certainly a strange object to be found, and the man who did so was very lucky. The pearl is currently estimated to be worth tens of millions of dollars. So, which of these things do you think is the craziest? Do you think scientists will ever fully understand what all these things mean, and what